Hey everybody, welcome to Liberty Warrior Nation, LWN Network. You guys, it's good to see you this Monday evening, December 1st, 2025. Oh boy, and it has been one heck of a Monday, at least for me, Jeff B, and LW. I don't know about you guys, but there's also a lot of stuff going on today as well in the news. And we are going to also talk about if we are happier than we were 30 years ago. So we've got a little bit of trivia about what happened 30 years ago, what happened in the year of 1995. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to update everybody on the merchandise. Jeff B is going to let us know how that is going. So if you haven't heard about our merchandise, we do have that. We just relaunched that the last show. So we'll get you caught up on that. Also, like I said, it is a Monday, so it might be a little bit of a train wreck and chaotic. I'm feeling a little under the weather, and LW is already laughing at me. So if I have to pardon myself, just don't let him make too much fun of me. Tell him to remain calm and be a nice gentleman if I have to leave for a moment. Anyhow, we'll be right back with the two stooges, Larry, Moe, and Curly. I guess I'm Curly, and we'll see you guys right after this short break.
We're back. We are back. Good to see you, Tammy. Good to see Jeff. Prayers for Tammy. She might need a bedpan tonight. I'm not sure. Prayers for my mom, too, please. I know that we reached out to all the mods. My mom can use your guys' prayer tonight. She's not feeling well, and her little Yorkie buddy is in the hospital, not doing well either. So prayers to both of them tonight. If you guys can put them on your prayer chain, that'd be awesome. We got some new merchandise that we're going to show tonight, some new t-shirts that War Machine created for us. We're going to talk about the silver coin drive, which we are announcing tonight that next Monday, Brandy and Cigars with Jeff B is the night that we're going to do the coin giveaway. So anybody who wants to get in on that, you can still do that by just doing Buy Me a Coffee, Super Chat over there on Rumble. Venmo, Cash App, whatever you guys want to donate, we'll get your name put in the drawing. So, it's been one hell of a crazy Monday. It's been a crazy weekend for me, and here it is, first day of December, Tammy. November is gone. We got 31 days before 2026. So that being said, welcome, Jeff B. Good to have you again tonight. And how are you two doing?
You go ahead, Jeff.
Freezing. We're supposed to get a snowstorm here and starting in about 3 or 4 hours. So temperatures dropping real quick.
Yeah, it's cold here. We were in the 40s as well, and it's rainy and cold and nasty. So I think the change of weather. Look at Mountain Man over there as he's like playing. Ohio gets cold too, like Idaho.
Ohio gets cold. It was 19 degrees this morning in Idaho. A lot of people can confuse Idaho with Ohio and Iowa. And it was cold here. Rode my scooter to work, about froze my digits off. So it's definitely winter here in Idaho.
Your scooter?
Yeah, I got a little electric scooter I ride to work.
Okay, Elon.
I know.
Okay, so Micron is a massive campus. So I drive to work, take the scooter in the back of my pickup, and when I park, I have to ride all the way across campus or ride a bus, Jeff. This guy, not riding a bus, so I ride a scooter.
Well, that's why God gave you 2 feet.
It's a long way.
He'd be out of breath. I just think really, if you're heading into work on a scooter, then your day's going to, I think, start off pretty well, even if it is a Monday. I mean, it's a different way to start your day. But we should talk about, we didn't have a chance. Oh, yeah, because we were not, because Thursday was Thanksgiving, right? Came on Friday, but we didn't talk about Black Friday. So did you guys hear? We didn't talk about Black Friday.
Oh, we didn't? Go for it.
No, because we spent $11.8 billion online on Black Friday. That was up over 9% from last year. So my question is, with all these people that claim they were starving and stuff and they didn't have money and they EBT and all that kind of crazy stuff, how did we spend all that kind of money? I don't have that kind of money. I didn't spend $1 on Black Friday. So I just find that pretty interesting because that's a lot of money. But the weird thing is, too, that AI-driven sites, well, AI has helped people drive to different sites and assisted people. That was up 805% compared to last year because the technology has advanced that much. So we did actually $14.2 billion in sales on Friday alone. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, well, here's the craziest part of all of that. I don't condone this. I hope that our listeners don't do this, but there are a lot of people out there in the world because the comment that I just put up on screen was they charged it. A lot of people go into debt for Christmas. That's one thing that in my lifetime I've never done, and I won't do. If I don't have the money, I'm not buying it. But a lot of people go into massive debt on their credit cards trying to create this magnificent Christmas for their kids and family, and they spend more than what they really have, Tammy, and then they spend the rest of the year trying to pay that credit card off, and I think that's a horrible game plan.
Well, then you look at, and it's true, it was supposed to be the liberals were supposed to boycott everything, and obviously that didn't work too well. But I looked at some of the so-called deals and some of the information that buyers were putting out there, and unfortunately, the Black Friday deals are really no longer deals because they put new tags, at least at Michael's, and I think it was Walmart. They put new tags on top of the old tags that are higher. So basically, when you get a certain percentage off, you really aren't saving a lot. Like Michael's, they said you are actually, if you went there, you paid more for the product on Black Friday than you would if you bought it when it wasn't on sale due to the maneuvering of so-called pricing and all that. Walmart, the same kind of thing. I guess they only put X amount of TVs or X amount, whatever the big ticket sale item was this year. They only put a certain amount out, and people were mad and people were going crazy because they went for that item. It wasn't there, but they want people in the store. And then the last little bit of information was they had macaroni noodles that were in the shape of TVs. They were put in a bunch of boxes in a TV-shaped box, and people were going nuts grabbing all of those and fighting over macaroni noodles in a TV shape in TV boxes. And I said, we have lost our ever-loving marbles to be fighting over freaking macaroni in a TV box.
That's it's actually pretty funny, to be honest with you. It is insanity. We've lived in insanity for quite a while. To answer a couple of your questions, I think Love Pug asked if we had a T-shirt that was U.S. Marine Corps. I believe we do. And the mods can drop the link there in chat. You can go over to, it's called Double Top Signs. That's Jeff B's webpage. He's the one that is taking care of all this, him and his crew. Appreciate that. But yeah, I think we have Army, we have Marines. We got some Navy stuff. I think we've got 10th Mountain Division, 82nd Airborne, I think is another one that Jeff's got. So we're still trying to fill the store up with more of the military stuff. But yes, I do believe we have the U.S. Marine Corps in there in the store. So, Jeff, what are your thoughts on all the crazy Black Friday crap?
Well, I think Black Friday has kind of lost its luster because seems like every month everybody has a better than Black Friday, which is crazy. And then, you got Cyber Monday, which, is stupid as well because, everybody has Cyber Monday sales like 365 days of a year. And to answer your question, Tammy, the reason why the sales are up because they turned EBT back on. So now they can use their money instead of using it to buy groceries. Now they can go use their EBT card. So you're funding their purchases. Congratulations.
All right. All right. I've had enough. I need a gavel. I need a court gavel to say enough of the madness. Let's stop the madness. Oh my gosh.
Let me respond to one of the comments real quick, Tammy. First, I want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you haven't hit that like button, I don't say it all the time because honestly, I get tired of saying it. But every time you guys hit that like button, it really helps the algorithm and other people find us. So if you can hit the like button, would really appreciate that. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed, or consider that, and share us out. That's really a good thing for the show. So yeah, we've sold a couple of t-shirts since we launched last Friday, and we appreciate those purchases. You guys are going to be getting those in the mail here shortly. Conservative Cowboy said I ordered 2 t-shirts, and I think I saw another one that said can't wait till I get my t-shirt. For those of you who have ordered merchandise, you're going to get a nice little what would we call that, Tammy, that
Just
we're putting in there?
a little thank you note with our signatures and stuff. Yeah.
And
our signatures, Jeff B's signature on there, just to let you guys know that we do appreciate.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a signature.
Jeff B might have a little special signature that he's sending out.
Letting you know you're number one.
California, howdy.
Yeah. So the first batch of shirts went out today, so the people should have gotten a email notification and a tracking number. And I know though we got about 12 or 13, I believe, prepping, so they should get their tracking numbers tomorrow.
Nice.
That's very cool. That is very cool. So the people that ordered, you said you got some out, and then the tracking look for tracking numbers in your emails, guys.
Yeah.
So that's good. I love that you can keep track of it all.
Cool. Hey, here's one more thing real quick. Kim Hill on Facebook is asking, how do you buy a coffee? So if one of the mods can point her in the right direction over there, we'll get her name put in the drawing for Silver Coin giveaway next Friday, which is December the 12th, Tammy?
Wait.
December the 12th.
Yeah, 12th.
Hit that like button, subscribe, and help us out. And then there was one other thing that I was going to say.
Wait,
I can't remember
what you said you want to do it on Monday. Monday's the 8th.
Monday, sorry. Yeah,
yes, Monday. So it's Monday the 8th. Friday is the 12th, but no, it's
Tam.
Yeah.
You always enjoy correcting me. Monday the 8th is when we're doing the silver coin giveaway.
We don't want people to miss it if they, what if we did, when they come on Friday and they're like, what the heck, is there a show? Even if we do a show.
Oh, I know what I was going to do. Let's show the 2 new shirts real quick, and then we're going to get to the news. So Tammy and Jeff both have a lot of stuff that they want to cover tonight. So buckle up. And I'm looking forward to what Jeff has to say, because he sent some photos right before the show started of some planes that we're going to talk about. And Tammy's got some stuff she wants to bring up too. But let me just share the screen. These are the newest ones that War Machine just made in the last couple of days. So these are fresh and hot off the press. So this one here is the first responder logo that we did this one years ago, but he's got a new design that he created for us, and it was cool because you can go through here and pick these different colors too, and I thought that was cool. So Jeff's team set this all up. I think he said there's something like 9 colors that you can choose from, and I think that's really awesome. And the other one was this one. This one's my favorite one right now. So this one is called the Blaze Breaker, and War Machine just redid this one. So this is our fire department t-shirt. And again, you can go through here and pick any one of the color t-shirts that that he has in here and make it your own. But those are the newest ones as of a couple of days ago. So thank you, War Machine, for doing that. He's been working really hard for you guys, getting these things all redone up and to Jeff. And Jeff's team's been like on it. So really excited for that. And I hope you guys enjoy some of these really cool t-shirts for Christmas gifts, Christmas for yourself. Have any jerseys? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're talking about like a football jersey, that would be a great thing that we could offer, and we could definitely talk to Jeff about that later, and maybe we could come up with something like that, Jeff.
Yeah, we definitely can look into it.
You put the number 17 on it. You could do a jersey with number 17 on it.
With a big Q. Yeah, I love pugs. I just text them in the warehouse to see if they can. I know we got the sticker up there, but to move the jar head over from the sandbox. But we were going to wait and do the Marine one last because, you know, Uncle Sam's misguided children.
Here we go.
All right. Well, that's all I really had at the beginning tonight. So, Tammy, Jeff, take it away.
Well, I would like to tie on to what Jeff was telling us about backstage, which is Senator Mark Kelly coming after Pete Hegseth now. And actually, it was also retired Air Force Brig General Blaine Holt who was talking to Newsmax, and I had texted LW earlier today. I'm like, isn't he the one you interviewed and that you talked to? And he said, yes, many times. But he's saying that Mark Kelly should basically face scrutiny and have to deal with his ties and past business with Chinese investors because the Senate's, I guess, probing the reported drug boat operation involving Pete Hegseth. So things are getting really ugly, and I do think they're going after Pete now. But I thought it was pretty interesting that these guys have all that come out and they complain about somebody, yet they're the ones that have dirty hands and dirty ties into foreign countries and wheelings and dealings. So it may turn around and bite Senator Mark Kelly in the butt. But do you know any more about that, Jeff?
You know, hopefully people listen to his speech. I know, you know, he's like the Lex Luthor of Congress. But, you know, he bashed Trump pretty hard, bashed Pete Hegseth pretty hard. Now, to let the viewers understand my train of thought on this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my conspiracy hat on.
Okay.
And, you know, we talked about how the military, the top line officers were flown in and they had a little powwow with Hegseth and the president and some other people. And we have 250 some odd JAG attorneys sitting in DC right now. To me, this all looks orchestrated. This all looks pre-planned to now you have this senator, basically they're calling the admiral who was involved in the shooting of these drug boats into Congress, which Mark said, or Senator Kelly said he has firsthand knowledge. Senator Kelly, you wouldn't have firsthand knowledge of shit because you're not involved in that committee. One. Number two, you're not going to get briefed by the Gang of Eight, who during an operation would be the only people if they would even brief Congress at that time. So, you know, I can kind of smell a bullshit sandwich all the way around. And, you know, and Is it possible Pete Hegseth said, yeah, waste them? Yeah, that's very possible. But I find it very unique that these 6, I'm going to call them seditious, they come out and they tell them, don't listen to President Trump's orders. And now you got this admiral that's being recalled. And now they're saying that they want to impeach Hegseth over something that they can't. Now, remember, people, they had ironclad evidence that Trump and Putin were colluding.
Mm-hmm.
Ironclad.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They can produce the audios, and they never produced them. So I think if this isn't orchestrated by the military in order to get maybe the idea of certain types of trials to happen, or to keep showing the American people how corrupt the court systems are, the federal judges, to where, that letter in the alphabet says the military is the only way. Maybe that's what it's meant to collapse the court systems.
Well, not to interrupt that, but before you go too far, when you talk about these judges, remember Boasberg, who is my least favorite mother trucking judge of all, that apparently the Senate's now eyeing impeachment for him because he's on Boasberg because he's refusing to testify. And it says the judiciary committee is moving ahead with the hearing on on rogue judges. It's time to remove him. So when you say what you're saying, when I see signs like this that they're going after them, the Senate, the good guys or whatever, trying to take the bad guys out, that gives me some hope. But Boasberg has been the thorn in my side for a very, very long time. And he's coming up. He did a lot of bad stuff trying to block Trump and spoke against Trump. So go ahead and continue your thought. I just wanted to interject that about a judge since you were talking about them.
Well, and look, they just removed one of Trump's attorneys out of New Jersey. Told her she was illegally appointed.
Adi Haba, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So,
You want me to pronounce that, Tammy?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm pretty good at it. It's Abba.
She's yeah, from New Jersey, because she was going to go do something through New Jersey, and they said she's not qualified or they rejected her or whatever, right?
Well, what about the comment from Trump today, Tammy, that said that he is going to null and void every executive order and everything that Biden did in his term because of the auto pen? Like that's a major statement. That is not just, you're not just throwing shit out there. I mean, he does, but that's like a major statement. And think of all the left that would melt down for just saying that statement. Hey, by the way, we found that 99.9% of everything that Joe Biden did with the auto pen, we're gonna void it. What's your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Well, I was told this morning that 91% of every action that was supposed to have the president's signature is null and void. 91%. Now, I've been saying for a couple years there's going to be a constitutional crisis that's going to come about. You can't get much bigger than a 92% of your presidency being voided because...
Jeff, are you watching cartoons while we're live?
Negative. Do you hear background?
Yeah, we hear TV or something.
Oh, do you?
Maybe Tammy was watching Flintstones or something.
No, it might be coming for. I have some of my nieces and nephews over, so
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they're
probably Uncle Jeff's babysitting tonight.
Negative.
That's a negative, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, adding to that, this was the big statement, that Trump put out a couple days ago. But did you catch what he said about Joe Biden in it? He said Joe Biden was not involved in the AutoPen process. And if he says he was, he will be brought up on charges of perjury. That is a huge statement, like LW was saying, but to call Joe Biden out like that, I mean, that sent chills. So I think, Jeff, your story that you're putting out there, that you're telling about the courts and the judges, I think it's dead on. And it's because these guys are in panic as well because of what Trump just did with these AutoPen deals. And I think that they know if he's wiping all this out, they're next in line.
Well, not only that, but like they want to impeach Pete Hegseth. And, if any of this is truly going on, if there is a bigger operation to stop a coup, and now we're seeing the beginning of another possible coup, what better way to piss off the military than to go after SecDef, who, now they're saying all of a sudden isn't qualified to have that job. Well, what qualifies somebody to be a Secretary of Defense? Because throughout history, you had a bunch of civilians who have never served day one as a secretary or in the military. So how did that qualify them to be Secretary of Defense? So to me, this just seems what I believe is to get at Trump, to try to stop the action that I believe now they know is going on, and to try to get rid of him so they can continue on with their fleecing of America.
Yeah. Well, that would make.
Hold on a second, Tammy. Hold on. I hate to interrupt, but there's some good questions here. Okay. I'd like Jeff to answer it. Plus, Conservative Cowboy sent me a link that I pulled up on screen here that I want to share with you and Jeff too, Tammy. But one of the questions is, would it be possible to get tall clothing? The regular sizes don't fit me well. Is there a way for us to get the tall T-shirts? Because I know sometimes I like the talls too, and I know Tammy was asking for the women. Are there V-necks and different style T-shirts that if they're not available today, are we moving in that direction? And I'll turn that back over to Jeff, and then I'm going to pull this article up for you and Tammy.
Yeah. So what you can do is when you go to the website, at the bottom right-hand corner, there is a little chat thing listed on there. And what you can do is if somebody isn't there at the time, you can actually open up a ticket. It's what we call a ticket. And you can put in a request, like if you have a particular color that you want, but you don't see available, or any particular clothing type, we can definitely get that for you and customize it. We just get so many requests from not only this web store, but our other web store, and I'm not as young as I used to be, so I probably would forget half the stuff anyways. But yeah, or you can send just a regular email. So it'll be the domain, which is doubletopsigns.com, but just send it to C as in Charlie, S as in Sierra at doubletopsigns.com, and somebody in the office will address it. And if it's something that we can solve just by sending you an invoice, we can do that. If it's something that you want, fairly quick, whether it's for the holidays or whatever, we can accommodate that.
Did you say it was csdoublesigns.com?
Yeah, see here. I can type it in the.
I just did. I just typed it and put it in chat.
It's over here on Rumble. I'll grab it and throw it over in Rumble.
Okay.
Tammy, you want to read this article that Conservative Cowboy sent to us? Can you see that, or your eyes?
No, it says the first arrest was never won. What the Sedacious Six reveal about the final essay stage of the awakening plan. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. That was Q3716 from December 17, 2019. Then it says, for years, patriots have speculated who the first arrest would be. Gosh, we've done that.
Yep.
And it says, would it be Hillary, Obama, Comey, Soros? That was always a misread. The first arrest was never just about one person. It was about the system, a fracture that the world could not ignore, a move so shocking it would trigger mass pop awakening. Now it's here. Wow. The Sedacious Six on November 18th, 2025, 6 Democratic lawmakers, all with military or intelligence backgrounds, appeared in a video urging U.S. troops and federal law enforcement to resist the orders of their commander-in-chief, Donald J. Trump. That wasn't an opinion piece. That was a structured, multi-actor psyop, filmed, edited, and deployed like wartime messaging. Their names, Senator Mark Kelly, Senator Alicia Slotkin, Rep. James Crow, Chris Deluzio, Maggie Goodlander, Chrissy Houlihan. We now call them the Seditious Six. Why does it matter? What the media forgot is that some of these officials, especially Mark Kelly, are still subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Retired officers receiving pay are legally under military law and can be recalled to active duty to face court-martial. That isn't a theory, that's federal law. And guess what? Kelly just got hit with a referral memo from the Department of War. He is now officially under military investigation. He could be arrested, recalled, tried by the book. Wow. And then it says, here are the articles now live in play, which is mutiny and sedition, contempt toward officials, conduct unbecoming an officer, failure to obey lawful orders, general punitive article, advocating government overthrow. This isn't just wrong think. This is treason and uniform. Holy cow, this is amazing. The double Q drop from December 17th, 2019 has long been misunderstood. First indictment unseal will trigger mass population awakening. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Marker 9. Here's what now fits. The first arrest isn't one person, it's a group takedown. The unseal is already happening. Subpoenas, leaks, and referrals are rolling. The marker 9 likely refers to 6 arrested plus 3 major trigger reactions, military, media, and foreign powers. The drop wasn't about guessing a name. It was a map of the final playbook phase. Why this is the final act. The video wasn't organic. They followed the DoD order of precedence in intros. They wore the uniforms of legitimacy. They aimed directly at the troops and the LEOs. That's
Tammy,
not...
Stop for just a second. I'm going to make a comment, and
Okay.
I want Jeff to respond to it after you're done reading.
Okay.
But are these the same ass clowns? One of them was wearing a military uniform from Israel. Yes, real quick, or no, Jeff?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because there was somebody that was on the floor that was wearing an Israel military uniform, and I thought somebody said they'd served for the United States and Israel, so I was just curious. Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, so that's not politics. That's wartime subversion. This was the deep state's last attempt to fracture the chain of command to stop Trump before the final phase of justice begins, but it failed. Because patriots are awake, because the military is watching, because the Q plan was always about optics plus law plus timing. We are in the plan. First, unsealings happen quietly. Military jurisdiction confirmed. Awakening phase online. Storm optics reaching normie threshold. They are panicking. Next, watch for synchronized arrests. Watch for tribunals. Watch for a mass pop shift in belief, the exact one Q foretold. Final word, this isn't the end. This is a signal flare. The first arrest isn't a name on a list. It's a line crossed, publicly, lawfully, permanently. And after that, nothing can stop what is coming. Stay ready, stay focused, stay loud. Wow. That is conservative cowboy
Jarvis Q.
and Jarvis Q.
Yeah.
Wow, that is pretty powerful stuff right there.
Well, I will turn it back over to you two.
What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I think that'd be pretty powerful if, Q wasn't bullshit.
I mean,
now, I hadn't seen that, but it makes me wonder, would anybody be shocked if anybody in the Biden administration would be arrested for the auto pen? That wouldn't shock me because, they would call that political persecution by the current administration. But what if, and this is just hypothetical based on what we just heard, what if the House Master at Arms was on the House floor and they take these 6 members who told the military to defy the Commander-in-Chief's orders, put them in handcuffs, and then turn them over to the military? That would shock a whole hell of a lot of people.
wow.
And
Well,
I think this is a door opening, because I said last week that I was told that Kelly was getting recalled back to active duty and that he was going to take the court martial. And I think this is his way of, that the military or whoever showing what's to come, to see what the populace is going to view this as. Oh, and I see the your little thing there. It should be, you have an @ symbol between the S and the D and the CS @ double. That's the mailing address.
oh, at. So there's an at.
Redo it, Tammy.
So put an at there. Well, Donald Trump put this out too, and this is what's crazy, is because you were spewing off all these articles and numbers and stuff for years, right? And to look them up. So Trump put this out, I think it was today, and he said there are laws that impact our nation. Read Title 18, Chapter 115, Section 2387. Whoever with the intent to interfere, impair, influence the loyalty, moral, or discipline of the military and naval forces to be fined or imprisoned up to 10 years. Commander Kirk Lippold, U.S. Navy, retire. This is right on point. In all caps, Trump says, do what has to be done. That's crazy.
Well, and remember, they just sent these JAG attorneys to DC. Why are and the cover story was that they were going to help with immigration. Now,
right. Oh, right.
The JAG attorneys don't prosecute civilian law. They prosecute the Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ. So if you're getting ready to start some military stuff, you need JAG attorneys. And somebody had asked the question, is the military in sync with the executive administration? Well, think about what took place 2 weeks ago when the Secretary of Defense recalled all the line and flag officers to make sure that they were in sync, to understand what's about ready to happen.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's law and order, just like somebody just in chat said they pulled it out at the same time as me. It seems like that's exactly what's going on.
Well, I think we're past the FA stage, and now we're getting to the FO stage.
I think so. And apparently it seems that way with that. I don't know, I believe it now. You see, when you have all this kind of information and you put it together, like I said, it makes a big difference than bits and pieces here and there. But this is all like a well-oiled machine. It's almost like you're seeing what the good is trying to do to prevent the bad, and then you watch the bad keep spinning and going after. That's the only thing they know how to do is talk bad, yell, scream, and complain, and impeach people. That's it.
Right. Yeah, and well, like I said, I mean, something major has to happen between now and midterms, because if the American people are naive enough to put in these socialists in charge of the House and the Senate, Trump's screwed.
Did I still do it wrong?
Yeah,
I sent it. I got it from our chat, our private chat. I put it in there, so don't touch it now. I did it.
Oh, I put it wrong. I put it wrong on Rumble too. I get it right eventually.
It's right now because I copied it from what Jeff typed.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, and so just before we went live, I got a text message, and I sent you guys the two pictures from the big chair. So he sent me these two pictures, and I think that's his way of telling me that shit's about ready to hit the fan, because for where these two pictures definitely show, we have over half of our E6B Hawkeyes up in the air right now with refuelers. So I think something probably within the next 12 to 24 hours is going to happen.
Well, Trump did tell Maduro that in a call that he must leave Venezuela in order to save himself and his family. And then Maduro apparently wanted to do the call, like, Trump had threatened before. They did the call, and apparently that's what he told them in the phone call. So, and then I think there was something out there that he tried to sneak out, and that's what was all the air traffic the other day, that Maduro tried to sneak out, and they caught him, and he had to turn around and go back.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Trump...
That's when he closed the air traffic, remember?
Yeah. Maybe Trump sent him a picture of his house.
It could have been. It very well could have been.
Yeah, so this was taking off where the big chair's at. And this was probably within the last hour and a half.
That's the doomsday.
No, this is a A1X, E6B.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a command and control center for, a general to command the battlefield.
Oh, well, I would say if you were Venezuela or anyone else that pissed us off, you see any kind of American plane coming at you, it's a doomsday plane, because you're about to have a doomed effing day. And it's FAFO. Right?
Yeah, this is the FO stage of the game.
Well, I think, too, it was smart. I don't know if it was planned out or just happened, but with them going after Hegseth and all this action that we feel is coming and see is coming, the Pentagon has a thing they call All Access now, and held their first press briefing basically in the Pentagon today, and they want to have full disclosure. And I guess there's 2 or 3 more meetings from the Pentagon pressers that are planned for next week as well.
Yeah. Well, I know yesterday Trump had a Oval Office meeting with all the top law enforcement. So like Kash Patel, the director of the Secret Service, DEA, all of those guys. So, something is definitely on the wake.
Stirring, definitely. Well, they also had, I don't know if this went under the radar or not, in Florida, there was a peace talk that continued between Marco Rubio and Jared Kushner with Ukrainian for the negotiations and their negotiators trying to settle things down. They came out and said progress is made. And I think today Marco Rubio headed out to Russia because he's supposed to meet with Putin this week. I think it's Wednesday. I'm pretty sure. So that seems to be calming down at this point, which is a little bit of good news with all this stuff going on with Venezuela and other stuff. So I was happy to hear about that. What was that? Beep, 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 beep.
I'm just reading some of the comments, trying to keep up on stuff. If you guys do me a huge favor, hit that like button if you haven't already done it. Subscribe, or at least consider subscription if you haven't done that in a while, and share us out. It's a big thing when you guys can share us out on some of those other platforms. A lot of people finding us, and it's good to see some of the old faces in here, and obviously always good to see the new faces as well.
Yeah, and I want to clarify it. Steve Witkoff, if I left his name off, he's the one that flew out, not Rubio. Rubio held the thing in Florida, the negotiations with the negotiators from Ukraine, but Steve Witkoff is going to Russia to meet with Putin. So that's clarification there.
Yeah, so we'll start the whole Russia thing again.
I know. It seems unreal. Well, I mean, it was nice. On a nicer note, it was nice to see that came out today. The First Lady did give the tour of the White House and the Christmas decorations. And I found this a little interesting. I did send it to LW, but it was really
email or text form, Tammy.
I think it was text form.
Okay,
but
you want me to pull that up on screen?
Actually, it's on our page. It's on our page too. If you want to show pictures, let me see how far down it is. But I thought the decorations were in great taste. But I found a couple things interesting. Yeah, it's not that far down on the page, LW. Where, I mean, I can even do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me hit share screen.
Yep, you have to do that.
Yep, because there's no audio, so it's fine. Entire screen, share. There we go. So there it is. So she does the decorations. Now this was pretty interesting because this is a bunch of butterflies, blue butterflies and stuff on top of a box. And, because it's about the heart of the family is in the home type of theme, and I really liked it a lot. They do have stuff for the 250th anniversary. You can see at the bottom there, and then along with the butterflies at the top picture there, she's got the Be Best, which is what she does about Be Best, that program she does. But then here, this is one of the pictures. This is actually on the fireplace, and these are buildings, but they're made out of dominoes. These are like dominoes. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But then you go to this picture at the bottom, and the Christmas tree is sitting on that platform there, and all the red, green, and white are also dominoes. I didn't try to do numbers because I thought, no, that wouldn't be right. But dominoes, what are they known for? Falling, right? You like... Okay, so that's it. And then the top picture I found interesting because it's Washington, who's the first president, and then Trump. What do we always hear about Trump being?
The last
president.
And then there's more buildings in the center of that made out of dominoes. So I found it pretty. I mean, it is pretty, but I'm trying to look into things not narrow-mindedly, widely, and I just found that very interesting. Dominoes. I've never heard of dominoes.
I want to ask Jeff a question, but I'm going to ask the chat the same question. I thought it was interesting that Tammy shared that on our Facebook page. So here's the question to all the audience, everybody who's listening to us tonight, everybody who's watching us, everybody who's in chat. What do you believe that the dominoes represent? I'm going to ask Jeff B. the same question.
The whole, what we believe is the deep state.
But do you think that that's something the dominoes are going to start to fall, or
Yep.
can you go?
I believe. Well, look, I can't verify it. I can't prove it. All I can say is I was told by somebody that has yet to be wrong, and even some of the batshit crazy stuff that he's told me that I've told you to, that you guys were scratching your heads and it's come true. Look, I mean, he told me Comey's sitting in Gitmo right now. And I about fell off my chair. And he goes, why do you think Treasury sees both his houses in Virginia?
Well, no more making seashell art on the beach then.
Well, think about it. I questioned the fact that when his hearing was in D.C., that you're having a hearing that could possibly throw you in prison or execute yourself, and you don't show, you're not there. And people were saying, well, they probably took him out the back, yada, yada. Well, it may be kind of hard to appear if you're already locked up.
Yeah. Wow.
And, I don't know if I told you the story about the Atlas Air, did I? On the last show? Okay. So there I am, minding my own business, sitting in the showroom, doing some work, and this guy comes in. I think it was Wednesday, either Wednesday or Friday of last week. And he was up from Miami. And I was like, oh, what the hell are you doing up here? He goes, well, up for the holidays, so it must have been, Wednesday or Friday. And I said, ask him what he did in Miami. He goes, well, I'm a pilot. I was like, oh, which airline? I was like, he said Atlas Airlines. And I'm like, oh, boy, why? Why did you say that? And he just started laughing. He goes, well, what do you know about Atlas Airlines? I said, I know you guys were involved in bringing a lot of illegals into the country because that's who the government contracted during the Biden administration. He goes, well, I didn't do that portion. I did the Guantanamo Bay portion. I was like, oh, so you've been to Gitmo? He goes, oh, been to Gitmo quite a few times, flying in supplies and stuff like that. And I said, well, what's one of the most interesting things that you've seen in the last 4 years when you flew into Guantanamo Bay? He goes, well, when you see a Gulfstream sitting on the tarmac next to you and some guy gets off that plane in a burlap sack over his head.
Oh my gosh.
Are you screwing around? Or are you serious? He goes, no, I've seen it. And
gosh.
I said, so there is some shady stuff. And he goes, well, call it shady, call it justice, whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
Yeah, he just retired. So he had 30 years as a pilot. Then just
real quick to catch people up to speed about Guantanamo, Tammy, when she was doing headline hits, was following this reporter lady for months, and they have expanded. I mean, we've been talking about this for years, but they've expanded Guantanamo. They built, I think, 3 or 5 new courthouses.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about the military JAGs. Jeff has had information that was sent to him that certain people were housed there. I don't think for 1 minute that it was completely created for expedition of illegals. I think it was expanded for reasons that a lot of us believe in. And I find that I find that very interesting that we're talking about it again, and this all keeps coming around full circle. And then Tammy shows us the Christmas photos of the dominoes. I mean, I am always going to be a skeptic. I will always question everything, because that, to me, that's the right thing to do, is to always question and verify. Question, verify. Believe in, trust, verify. It's just when you think that we're done talking about something, Tammy, boom.
I know it flips on you, and I innocently went in looking at those pictures because of the Christmas decorations. Now on the 4th, in a few days, is when they're going to do the official tree lighting. But I'm like looking at that, and I'm like, well, butterflies, that's kind of unique too, because that starts off as a caterpillar, goes in that, and then it comes out as a butterfly. But I'm like, well, maybe they just like butterflies, but I couldn't figure out what the butterflies representative.
Christmas, that's kind of odd.
Yeah, blue butterflies. But then also, like I said, the dominoes stuck out. Like, I'm like, this is obvious. Like, it's not checkers, it's not chess. It is like a whole new thing about dominoes. What happens with dominoes and they fall? And did I see any cues? They were talking about different little cues here and there. Somebody was, but I didn't see any of that. It was supposedly in the lighting and stuff. But anyhow, but yeah, it was Catherine Herridge who did that whole study or show, a documentary about Gitmo. And I do have a neighbor friend that worked there too, and I keep trying to get stuff out of him, and he just looks at me and laughs. And he purposely, I'm telling you, every time he sees me, he's got Guantanamo Bay t-shirt on. He's got it on. He's aggravating me on purpose. And I'll just say, hey, did this and this go on? And he'll just look at me and kind of smile. He won't tell me, so whatever. But the thing is, sometimes a non-answer is an answer when you ask a question.
You see the butterfly effect in there in chat, Tammy?
No. Oh, the butterflies.
What's the butterfly effect?
Oh yeah, Rebirth.
Have you ever seen the movie?
Yeah.
Ever seen the butterfly effect? That's pretty
yes. Good. Yes, transformation, rebirth, they're saying. But they weren't on the boards, Mimi. They were in her Christmas tree. The big Christmas trees, blue butterflies. I didn't see any on the board. So, yeah, that's true, the butterfly effect from that. I don't know. I just think that there's got to be some meaning there, because that's just... I should look up...
Well, maybe at some point they should bring Trump and Melania and Dan Scavino in for a psychological evaluation, because they keep posting this stuff out, and it always points back to one thing or another, and you can't keep, just like, all right, you take the dominoes. Well, look at Trump's been wearing this 45 through 47 hat. What are you trying to say? Oh, well, maybe that was telling people that the Biden administration was illegitimate, and now we're starting to see that, oh, wait, maybe Joe Biden wasn't signing all these orders. So I think this is possibly your constitutional crisis that is going to have to be addressed.
It can't go unaddressed, and it can't go, well, he did that, and now I'm null and voiding everything, and then that be the end of the story. There's no way. You're right. It has to be the beginning of the ending of what they did.
Right.
100%. Because that's a big deal. I don't care what president it is. People get caught up in this Biden, Trump war thing going on, and all this craziness left and right. And think about it. You're a United States citizen, and you have a president of the United States that wasn't in control of anything that he signed and did. Imagine the repercussions of that. We're seeing that now. That can't go unaddressed at all.
Right.
Well, Jeff, before we went live, you said there was a ton of stuff going on. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring to people's attention tonight before we start thinking about landing the plane?
Well, I mean, you just have this congressional member or senator, Mark Kelly, that looks like Lex Luthor. You know,
He's-
he was just up there just straight bashing Trump, calling him a criminal, a defunct businessman, a con artist. You know, calling Pete Hegseth anything but a soldier. You know, and what's going to be really interesting is I've heard rumblings that we are going to see the decapitation of the Vladimir Zelensky regime. That
well, yeah.
yeah, there's going to be, because I guess there's been 2 or 3 of his top aides that have left the country and have started to chirp.
Run.
And what I can't wait to see is how are the Ukrainian bros going to flip this, because you know we know what, in theory, I mean we don't have firsthand personal knowledge of what goes on in the Ukraine, but all these people that have raised money and did all these shows and made shitloads of money off the Ukrainian people, and anytime I speak of this, it's not the people I'm talking about, it's the government, you know, and the American people really need to go back and read the history on how we overflew Yanukovych and installed this actor slash dancing homosexual. I mean, that's basically what it was, is the leader of this country in Ukraine. And, you know, where's all this embezzled money at? And what should piss people off is this is your tax dollars.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you could have had a winter with no heat bill, no electric bill for what we gave to them, for them to just go for Prada bags for his wife. You know, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Well, you know, Trump just put this out too about Mark Kelly, and it's obviously not going away, which is good.
Is
And
it
it needs
Mark or Mike?
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark. Okay, because I've seen Mike too. The reason why I'm asking is I'm telling War Machine to make us an AI photo of Mark Kelly in handcuffs, and then at the bottom put FAFO.
But he said, Trump just said, Mark Kelly and the group of unpatriotic politicians were wrong, capitalized, to do what they did, and they know it. I hope the people looking at them are not duped into thinking that it's okay to openly and freely get others to disobey the President of the United States. To me, that's a warning to anybody who follows in suit to what Mark Kelly and a couple of those politicians did. I think that's their warning.
I can't even imagine when I was in the service if our platoon chief, LPO, would have said, hey, you got to disobey the commander in chief's orders. I can't even imagine what kind of shitstorm that, because in the military, you know, if you haven't served, you wouldn't understand it, I guess. It doesn't matter who the president is. He may be a total 180 from your political views. It's something that's instilled. That's your commander in chief. Like him, dislike him. I mean, I liked Bill Clinton as a person. You know, when he came to Hawaii and met with Admiral Knetsky and them, I mean, I thought it was a big deal for him to fly over and go on the Mighty Mo. That was a big deal. And there's no politics in that. You may disagree with them, but that's your commander in chief. I can't. This is and this has to be so orchestrated, because I cannot believe that a sitting U.S. senator and a officer in the military could be this ignorant. And if this is the case, no wonder why we're in the shape we're in. And you look at what Trump's doing with Somalia now.
Yeah.
This Ilhan Omar is going to be a ghost.
Yep.
Because
he's called her out.
Well, they're looking at revoking her citizenship.
Yep. He said she can get the H out of this country. He wasn't playing games.
Let me ask Jeff and Tammy this question, but this question is for everybody listening and watching tonight, everybody who's in chat. I think this is a great question. What do you think would have happened if Donald Trump, if Kash Patel, if Marjorie Taylor Greene, maybe a couple other ones, would have said the exact same thing 3 years ago, referring to Joe Biden? If they would have said, hey, military, don't listen to his orders, defy his orders. What do you think as a listener? Go ahead and drop your comment in chat or put your comment in if you're watching this later. What do you think would have happened if Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene and, say, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, a few of them, 6 of them, make up any names you want on the right, if they would have said the same thing, hey, military, don't listen to the commander-in-chief, Joe Biden, which I know we all agree he wasn't commander-in-chief. He wasn't even there. But just for shit's sakes, for conversation, what do you think would have happened? I'm going to go to Tammy first and then Jeff P.
I think they'd all be in jail and Gitmo probably for life with the key thrown away. They would have arrested him, legal, not legal. They wouldn't have got a trial, none of that. They would have just thrown him away. Just like they dethroned Biden and put their own Kamala in there. They don't have morals, values, and law and order. They don't agree with them. They would have thrown him away. That's what I feel.
No, yeah, they would have had SWAT parties at their houses.
Yeah,
they'd have raided them just like they did, Mar-a-Lago, and the news that would have been nonstop, wall-to-wall coverage on every news outlet.
Yep.
Probably even Fox News. Because
Operation Mockingbird, they would have just repeated over and over and over and over and over again, brainwashing people, and they would have had the entire left demanding for them to be swinging from a tree branch.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But, I mean, it's just everything is just a complete double. Well, just look at the Clintons. They were subpoenaed to appear in Congress and didn't show.
Nothing. Where's the...
Yeah, Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro do it, and they get arrested. So, it doesn't matter where your politics lie. Just think, this can happen to any one of us. Any one of us. And probably twice as hard because we have no political stroke.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying something. If we don't see something tangible by the midterms, then Donald Trump's a big fraud. And I don't think that's the case. There's enough there to show that something is in the works.
And I agree with what some of that we read, the letter from Conservative Cowboy. It's not just one person. I realize that one name or second name and all that. It's a lot of them, but I want the big names going down, just like this stuff is coming at Boasberg and these other senators and stuff like that. I want to see all of them come tumbling down, but especially the big names, because when
like
the big
dominoes.
There you go.
Down like dominoes.
There you go, because I'm going to go cheers to you and cheers to you. Enjoy jail. Enjoy this, because seriously, the amount of corruption that they have cause, this country, financially, emotionally, everything over the years is just dumbfounding. And it is beyond the point of infuriation. It's like there's no getting out of it because so many of them, it's not just one crime against them or one accusation. It is multiple on multiple levels over many years, each and every one of them.
Well, and it's just not in our country. Just look at what Bibi Netanyahu asked for from the president of Israel. He asked the president of Israel for a pardon.
Yeah.
For war crimes. What? Maybe that's part of Save Israel for last.
Well, Trump also put in a good word for Bibi to the president. Didn't you hear that? He did that a while ago. This just come up yesterday. Bibi formally asked them for a pardon. Oh, wow.
So
for war crimes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
That's a whole nother show getting into that whole mess. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
well, you may disappear by Sierra McCall.
Well,
Yeah.
you two ready to kind of wind it down a little bit, rolling in?
Sure,
Final
Alice.
Tammy, you weren't feeling real well tonight, and I appreciate you sticking it out. Tammy and I talked right before the show tonight, and she was not feeling well at all. And she's a tough bird. She said, "No, I'm coming on, and the show must go on." And she stuck it out with her bedpan right next to her the whole time, and she didn't even have to turn the camera off to take care of it. So thanks for being tough, Tammy.
My pleasure. It is what it is. But I think that are you getting into final thoughts now, or you want to wait?
I was just saying we can do whatever. I because we get into anything else and it can be a whole nother show because I'm just going to briefly talk about this real quick, if you don't mind, because I think it's something that people should be aware of. Sean Ryan has a show out, and I sent it to LW, and I didn't send it to you because yet or whatever. But Sean Ryan, there's the group 764, or 964, which I've talked about it. And it's an area code, I think in Texas, the area code of Texas, where this group started. And they've got this whole OnlyFans things through Roblox and Minecraft and all this for kids 8 to 13.
Yeah.
Well, this is the show. I just want to let people know that bits and pieces, I can't watch the whole show yet. It's so disturbing, but the bits and pieces and clips that I've seen of it, I think it's something that heading into the holiday season especially, anytime's good, but people should be aware of with their kids, with the gifts they'll be getting, the games they'll be playing, that they need to watch the Sean Ryan show. And it's I forget the guy's name on it, but you can look it up and you'll see, because this guy is a professional hacker, this young guy. He's been doing this, but he's a hacker to save children. And it's all these atrocities that are being done online to children, young children. And I think it's really important, even if you can't stomach the whole show, to at least look at clips, bits and pieces, and be aware of what is going on so you can protect your children, like I said, as we come into the holiday season. So that's all I'll say about it, because I couldn't talk and do a whole show about it. I don't think I could.
Yeah, you were ruining my morning this morning.
I know, I'm sorry. I know.
Let everybody check that out, the Sean Ryan show.
Yeah.
On Internet Hacker for Roadblocks.
Yes.
To watch if you could stomach it. I'm going to go to Jeff B for final thought so he can scoot out of here. Jeff, I just want to say thank you and your entire crew there in your shop, and tell them thank you from me, please, for all the hard work, for them putting everything together for the merchandise. And we're posting that on Facebook now. We're getting it out everywhere, and they're doing a fabulous job. And thank you, War Machine. If he's listening tonight, I did send him a couple of texts for some of the requests that I've seen there in chat. So stay tuned. We're going to have some new T-shirts popping up that we'll send to Jeff. But Jeff, tell everybody in your shop, thank you so much for all the hard work, because I know there's going to be some extremely happy people here in the next week or so when they start getting their packages in the mail with their Christmas T-shirts. So, and then don't forget, next Monday, the 8th of December, we're doing the coin giveaway, 8 silver coins plus. Well, I'm going to let Jeff, in his final thought, tell everybody what he's going to donate. Go ahead, Jeff.
There was a raid in our city, so they got a bunch of crack rock. So we're going to, no, I'm just joking.
Oh, Jesus.
So what we're going to do is we're going to, I know I told them one thing, but we're going to do something else. We are going to give away 6 $25 gift certificates for the store. So you'll be able to, if you want a shirt for free or, it'll come in at that price point. Or it'll just cost you a couple bucks, kind of like our thank you to LWN and thank you to you guys for purchasing and supporting this show. For my final thought, I think, we're pretty close to something definitely popping off in Venezuela, and keep your head on a swivel, because I know there was another alert sent to all law enforcement agencies for suicide bombers, IEDs, stuff like that as we go into the holidays. Other than that, if you guys have any specific requests for shirt colors that you want, even though it's we only have 10 listed on the matrix right now, you can email it to us and we can make sure that you guys are taken care of. But other than that, like I said, keep your head on a swivel, kids.
Okay, sounds good, Jeff.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye, Jeff.
Yep, bye. Have a good evening.
Kim Hill over there on Facebook is asking how to purchase a coffee. I thought I saw one of the mods jumped into Facebook and dropped the link for Kim earlier. So if one of you could hop over there real quick and drop the link again, that would be much appreciated. How cool is that, Tammy? 6 gift certificates for $25 a piece that we're going to be giving away next Monday for all of those qualified people to win one of those gift certificates, and then they pretty much pick whatever they want.
I think that's good. I think it's wonderful. What a very generous thing. 6 of them, that's a lot on top of the coins that we're giving away, which is wonderful too.
It's Monday next. Don't miss next Monday.
Yeah, and it's not too late, you guys, to buy a coffee, make a donation or whatever. You've got the rest of this week and stuff, and then we'll be doing the drawing on Monday. So it ought to be good time. I think we need a good time, and it's nice to share a little laughs and a little couple jokes in between here and there with all the seriousness going on. It really helps a lot to lift the mood. I know Mondays are hard, so my final thought is we made it through a Monday. Trump was supposed to speak. I haven't seen him pop up to speak about the next move for Venezuela because he was supposed to have that meeting and closed meeting, and he did apparently, but he's still not speaking, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that, you guys, and see what's going on with that. And like I said, I think it was great to go on tonight. It's always refreshing, and it's always good to catch up with everybody. So I had a good time tonight, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and we try to answer as many questions as we can get from you guys out there, and I think you did a good job with that tonight, LW, because your fingers were moving fast tonight. I saw that.
Yeah, trying my best.
Yeah.
My final thought is this: prayers for my mom tonight. If you guys can put her in your prayers, and her little corgi buddy, he's ill, and it's really affecting my mom. So if you guys can pray for her, I would greatly appreciate it tonight before you guys go to bed. I know she would too. My biggest final thought, and thank you again to Jeff and for all you guys who have donated to the show and help. I mean, everything that you guys donate really helps helps pay for the software, the internet, power bill, some of these T-shirts that we're making and stuff. So all the money that we generate off this channel with all the time that we put in, it gets put to good use. So thank you for that. So my final thought comes from that is it's so important for us to plug into life and to spend quality time with our family and friends. And I've been really trying hard to spend quality time with my parents lately, reconnected with my little brother. Excited to spend some time with him here soon, and my other brother, my nieces and my nephews. Been catching up with them. Got to spend some time with my daughter right before, I think it was the end of September, 1st October. She flew out from North Dakota. My youngest daughter came out and spent some time with me, so I got to spend some time with her. She was in chat tonight saying hello to everybody and watching the show. I think we go all year 100 mile an hour, Tammy, especially when the warm weather hits. We're just freaking going 100 mile an hour. You're doing yard work, I'm working, everybody's busy doing something. And it's really, we don't slow down until it gets cold, and then we start thinking about family. So our family goes without us for months because we're just all going 100 mile an hour. And I think one of the things I'm going to try to do for my New Year's resolution, because I'm starting to already think about it, right? I want to make a difference in my life. Last year, it was a health thing for me. I've gotten healthier. I've lost 30 pounds. I've got reconstructive nose surgery. I can breathe now. Even here with the mic, I feel like I sound better because I don't have a nasally sound anymore. So this coming year, 2026, I guess, and I want people to start really thinking about this too, is I think my New Year's resolution is going to lean really hard on quality time with family and friends and making that a priority in my life. Because I just feel the times that we live in now, and you and I are always talking about, and we didn't even get really to the meat of the show tonight because we had so much going on. We want to talk about, was life better 30 years ago versus today? And you didn't even get to bring up the list of stuff. So keep that on file. We're going to use it. We'll do another show, me and you, and we'll talk about that, because I feel like today at 2025 going into 2026, there's so many distractions. There's so much going on that we're really sometimes working too hard, not paying attention to what's going on in our government, or working too hard, not paying attention to what's going on in our own families, or paying attention way too much to the government and all the rabbit holes you can jump down, and not spending time with our family and not taking care of our business. I don't know. I don't know what category people fall into when it comes to that. So again, my final thought is I'm really trying to be intentional on thinking about what change do I want to make for myself and for my family in 2026, and how can I be deliberate in that decision to have a better quality of life? And that's my final thought for tonight.
Yeah, that is a wonderful final thought too, because you are somebody that I think I go a million miles an hour. You're like 10 of me. So I've learned to slow down and adjust, and it's been wonderful. So I believe that you do that. Not only is your family and friends going to be thankful, you will too. So it's a good goal to have, definitely.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. We'll go ahead and hit the kill switch.
The wings.
The wings. We got to do the wings. Okay. God bless you guys.
Yeah.
Today's Monday. Depending on how Tammy feels tomorrow and later this week, we're definitely going to try to do another show sometime this week. So I don't know. I don't know exactly when that will be. How can I buy coffees? Just a thumbs up and likes. So the link was dropped there in chat. You just click on that link. You can go in there. I'm not sure if you have to set up an account. I think you tie it to debit card, and then you can buy as many coffees as you want. Sorry about that, Kim, if that's a little confusing for you. But there's still time. So we do another show this week. and you hop in there, I think I can explain it a little better for you. But really, it's just as simple as hitting that link that they drop there in chat, and then you'll go into the app, which is Buy Me a Coffee. I think it's Liberty Warrior 86 is what the username is. You'll see my photo on there, and you just click on Buy a Coffee, and I think it links it to a debit card or something like that. That's about the best explanation at the last second that I can give you. But Tammy, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to play the Wings, and I'm hoping that you feel better. You're in our prayers too. Please pray for Tammy tonight. She ate some 3D chicken or something and not feeling well. So pray for her that she will quit buying that stuff and maybe raise her own chickens and have her own farm so she's not getting sick on us. But love y'all. God bless. And we will catch you on the next one. Wings. Burning Wings. Where are they at? Burning Wings. There they are.
There they are.